We heard Chief Maris Harold describe Officer Talley as everything policing deserves and needs. Even President Biden calling Talley the definition of an American hero. Again, we heard from Officer Talley's dad, who said that in his training, you know, he's trained to wait for backup, but in that moment of need, when he gets the call to help, he didn't hesitate to go into that King Soopers, knowing that there was an active shooter, and to help not only stop him, but save many, many other lives.
And that really speaks to his character. You know, his father spoke earlier this week and said that he had had a conversation with his son, and his son said, I don't think that I can wait. If somebody needs help, I don't think I can wait for backup. I have to go in. And that's what he did last week. We want to get back to Nicole Brady. She is live along the procession route, and you had the chance to talk to some people who are out there to pay their respects, Nicole.
Those people who came out, some of them stood out here for an hour as that procession passed us by, that early part of the procession before the family came by in the hearse. So they just were committed to standing by and watching as other law enforcement agencies passed us. They wanted to show their support. And I spoke to one gentleman who is the father of 2 Boulder police officers. His daughter worked very closely with Officer Eric Talley, and he talked to me about how they were feeling about this today.
So my son and daughter are both Boulder police officers, and they know Officer Talley, so I thought I'd come out and pay my respects here and kind of stay away from the crowd. But it turns out there is a crowd. So just here waiting, enjoying the weather, and I'm sure they'll come by soon.
How did it affect you, can I ask, the day that the shooting happened, knowing your son and daughter are in that Boulder Police Department? I mean, that must have been hard.
It was just a little scary, you know, not knowing where they were and what was going on. But, you know, my daughter was not working that day. My son was there. But it was scary, and then, you know, kind of dealt with it, you know.
And talking to him, I of course thought of Officer Talley's father and mother, who we've spoken to, both of them, over the last week. It's just been so heartbreaking to hear his mother, her pleas for people to just be kinder to each other, and his father talking about what his son got into late in life and how committed he was to being a law enforcement officer. You know, his motivations going into law enforcement after losing a friend in a drunk driving accident. And the Boulder police chief saying he is exactly the kind of person you want in law enforcement. So clearly impacted so many people that we've spoken to over the last couple of weeks, but our hearts are certainly with his parents, his wife, and 7 children today. And we know it is going to be a very emotional service. A lot of support today. The procession has passed us by now on Highway 7, but the traffic's still backed up because that procession was just the longest I think I've ever seen for a law enforcement officer. Back to you in the studio.